All right, guys, so it's a Saturday morning out here, and we got the old Mach 1 loaded up on the trailer here at the house garage. I brought it back down here just to get it out of the way at the shop so we'd have room to work on other stuff. So, but the time is now. So my engine's at the shop, and we got this sucker loaded up. I'm about to take it up there, and I want to restore my engine bay, so I want to repaint that. So just sand it and repaint it and try to clean it up a little bit in there while I got room. And a couple other little things, and then hopefully within the next day or so we'll be trying to set this motor in there. So pretty excited. Stay tuned. We're gonna get this engine bay straightened right up. So we got the car up to the shop and got her unloaded. First order of business is the engine bay. These Mustang engine bays aren't notoriously kind of not all that pretty to begin with, and this one, between all the rat pee and just years of sitting and a little bit of use, it's pretty gross. So I'd like to try to spend a little bit of time to try to make it look a little better. While the engine's out, I can get to it. So the first order of business, we're going to take some super clean and just degrease this whole deal. And I kind of been spraying paint here and there, just touching it up and stuff like that. There's only so much I can do. The wiring and everything has to be in here, and all the hoses and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd do a whole, I'd love to do a whole like resto mod deal and shave it and, clean up all the wiring and all that stuff. But it's just not practical right now. Just want to get the car running and maybe look a little bit better. At least get it to kind of show car standard, because I will be showing it a little bit, and just clean her up a little bit. So anyway, that's what I'm about to do now. I'm about to hit this sucker with some super clean and then get in there with some sandpaper and Scotch-Brite pads and try to get her cleaned up, put a fresh coat of paint the same color all the way around, and then we'll be ready to set that motor in here. So also want to give a big shout out to the folks over at Super Clean. They sent us a few products to use, and Super Clean is something that we've been using for years, and that's really the only degreasing product that we do use here in the shop. But I'm going to be using the classic Super Clean degreaser, and also the foaming. The foaming will just grab hold of stuff and just kind of stick there and just dissolve that grease, and that's what I need on this thing, as dirty as it is. So yeah, we're gonna switch over to a time lapse and get the super cleaning and cleaning this deal up, and then that way I can get it ready for paint. Alright guys, so I got this deal sprayed last night. The conditions were less than ideal, so today's the next morning, and I came up here just to check on it. That Rust-Oleum that I use is known to, it takes a while to really set up and harden anyway. But I just want to come up here and check it, and it's not tacky. It's pretty well set up, but you can still, pretty easily, it's still soft to a fingernail, so I would like it to set up a little bit harder than that. So I've created my own atmosphere here. Today's a little bit warmer. It's about 60 right now. It's supposed to get to upper 60s later this afternoon, but still no sun. I wish we had some sun. I'd just roll it out in the sun and that would take care of it, but doesn't look like it's going to happen today. So anyway, I created my own atmosphere. I got this cardboard over it, and I got one electric heater under there, and I got one electric heater in there, and just letting it run. It's definitely a good bit warmer right in there, so try to help that kind of speed up the process and get it to set up. And I'll let it run like that for a couple hours this morning. Probably go grab a bite to eat and then come back and uncover it and untape it, and it'll be what it is. So I did the best I could with all the stuff in the way without completely stripping that engine bay down. There's not a lot that I could do. So but anyway, I think it's going to look good. It's definitely going to look way better than it did. So anyway, I'll get back to you whenever I get ready to take all that stuff off there and see where we're at. All right, guys, I got everything unmasked, and it does look way better in there. It's a little more glossy than I would have liked. Like, I wish somebody made paint that was somewhere between flat and semi-gloss. That would be ideal. But it really does look pretty nice in here. I mean, it's way better than it was for sure. Luckily, my masking held up good, and I got some tight lines up in here. I had to see one little overspray spot that I need to fix, but no big deal. But one big thing about these is once I get that engine in here, it gets tight down in there, so you don't see a lot of the stuff that you can see now. You don't see once the engine's in. So, but I want to give a big shout out to Super Clean as well for hooking us up with these products to use. They've been awesome. The foaming stuff is great, and like all those steering components and stuff down there were just so caked up and dingy, and hit them twice with the Super Clean and some decent pressure water, and I didn't even have to use a brush or anything to agitate them, and that stuff just melted the stuff right off of them. And that's just from old grease and from being underneath the engine and stuff like that from all these years, and just knocked that stuff right off of there. So without that, to clean this whole deal before the paint, it would have been a lot more work to get in there and clean all that stuff up good. So overall, not perfect, but it looks way better than it did before, and I'm pretty happy with it for now, for a day and a half project. And now this is making me even more excited to get that engine in here. So it's sitting right over here. I got a few more little things to prep and get Dad up here, and we're gonna try to stab this sucker in here. So all right, so we got the front of this thing jacked up. Got the engine over here, and now I'm just kind of cleaning all this stuff up. I'm gonna put the block plate on it and then put the flex plate on. Just got the motor mounts put on it. Had to get some plugs for the little coolant drains in the side of the block, so we took those out the last freezing weather we had, and just went ahead and drained it while it was sitting here in storage, just to be sure. And they were pretty gross, so we'll go ahead and replace those, and just kind of get everything out of the way in here. All that's looking good, and yeah, so I'm just gonna do that real quick, and then we'll try to get her in.
All right, come on with the motor.
All right, it in.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, took a minute.
You got a lot of bleeping to do, ain't you?
Well, it's on the time lapse, so
it would have been so bad if TK would have helped.
Yeah.
It wouldn't been, we'd have been through 30 minutes ago with that rubber ass tube in there.
Yeah, I don't know what that, it must be a vacuum hose, rotten, whatever it
Windshield
is.
washer or something. It got between the head of the boat and the belt housing, and I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
The wrench was going.
That right there. I tried to pull it out of the way and it just broke off. So anyway, whatever. It's in there. So now I just got to get it up on the rack and see if I can get the headers in and start hooking everything up underneath.
Come turn on Street Outlaws for us. Let's watch TV for a minute. I'll take a break.
All right, let's go operate the TV.
I tore up my glove.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As you saw, we got the engine in the car, and now it's just a matter of getting everything hooked up. I got it pushed on the rack, and I got to get it in here and look at starting to fit headers. I kind of tried to stick the driver's side one up in there, and it may end up being quite a task to get it in. So anyway, but the next episode, you'll see us fighting with that and try to get all that stuff figured out, and hopefully we'll try to get it running in the car. So, but thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.